You've just torn your ACL skiing, what next? Well, that's exactly what today's video is all about. For those thinking, why should I trust you? Who are you? I'm Tilly Milverton and I'm an ACL specialist. I've helped hundreds of ACLs return to sport, but it also means I've seen hundreds of people hurt their ACLs, unfortunately. I work with patients for both surgical and non-operative, and you can imagine I see my fair share of skiers too. I'm also a skier myself, and I ski every year, and I've had my own ACL reconstruction. In this video, we'll cover what to do immediately after your ski injury, whether you need surgery, and the key surgical considerations you need to think about. So let's say you've just hurt your knee. The medical team in the ski resort thinks it's an ACL, and you've been put in one of those awful straight knee braces. We call it the cricket pad splint. But here's the thing, if you don't have any fractures, then in my opinion, and I know plenty of surgeons who agree, those straight splints can actually do more harm than good. Here's what you actually need to do. Keep your foot and ankle moving. Lots and lots of calf pumps help reduce the risk of a DVT, which is becoming increasingly common in skiers who get injured abroad and then fly or actually drive home with a completely immobilized limb. Get an MRI scan ASAP. You need to understand the exact damage inside your knee. Get your knee straight. That's priority number one. Start activating your quads. Squeeze your front thigh muscles regularly throughout the day. Control the swelling. I recommend a compression bandage like a Tubi grip. They're not too tight like some knee sleeves. They're washable, they're cheap, very easy to get hold of, and they're just easy to wear. Pull on and pull off. Keep your knee elevated above your heart when you're resting. Use ice, but know why you're using ice. The latest research actually tells us ice doesn't help reduce swelling, but it's brilliant for pain relief, and that's why I always recommend it, and it's my absolute first choice at alleviating pain. Always go with ice rather than tablets, particularly anything with opioids in. Work on your bend, so start to gently flex the knee, even a little bit. Don't panic if it's really stiff at first, just try to improve it daily. What's absolutely key is that you have a plan. Start rehabbing or prehabbing the knee as soon as you can tolerate it. Don't just sit back and relax and just think, oh, I'm just gonna look at my leg waste away. Most people, even after a traumatic ACL injury, can start using their knee within 1 to 2 weeks, but you must know how to do that. Use it or lose it, right? If you want a complete step-by-step guide, I've created my Complete ACL Recovery guide, and you can start it now while you're waiting to see your surgeon or decide if even you need surgery. I break down everything from early rehab, what to do, some surgical decision-making choices, strength testing to get you back to sport safely. Links in the description if you want to check it out. Now, let's talk about the big one. Do you actually need surgery to repair your torn ACL? First of all, this might surprise you, not everyone does. A lot of people live without an ACL. ACL surgery is elective. It's not an emergency and not always essential. If you're an active, and especially if you play sports that involve change of direction, pivoting, twisting, jumping, landing, the likelihood is you will need an ACL to carry on with those types of sports. Most younger people with high activity levels tend to go for surgery, whereas older individuals or people with less demand on their knees often cope well without it. I always explain it like this. There's a group of people who definitely need an ACL. Then there's a group that probably could cope without an ACL, and then there's a group that almost definitely will be fine without an ACL. Every case is different, and that's why early rehab is so important. I always say if you can't stick to 6 weeks of prehab, the likelihood is you won't cope with 12 months of hard ACL rehab, because the process is hard. It's every day, mentally and physically draining. Now, what about surgical considerations? What to know before going ahead with surgery. So if you're considering surgery, here are some of the key things I want you to think about. It's typically 12 months to return to sport, not 3, not 6, and that's to do it safely, by the way, key consideration there, safely. You can't twist or turn or jump or run until you've passed proper rehab testing. If you're watching this and you've actually had ACL surgery and you've not passed any return to sport testing, that's a red flag in your rehab, but we'll save that entirely for another video. Let's talk about graft types for the final piece in this video, pros and cons and my key considerations. The most common grafts are hamstring graft, patella tendon graft, and now quadricep tendon graft is actually making a comeback. So I'm seeing more of that. It kind of stopped because it wasn't very good, and now it's coming back in. Perineal grafts, that one's quite big in China, I believe, and I've now worked with 3 perineal grafts. Cadaver grafts, so in some countries they don't allow it, but in most I think they do. Whichever graft you pick, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul, so they say in England. There are pros and cons to every option. If you have a history of patella tendon pain, don't have a patella graft. Constant hamstring strains and issues with your hamstrings, avoid the hamstring graft. If you've got a clean slate, i.e. no ongoing chronic or acute issues, hamstring and patella grafts are the most common ones to go for. Your surgeon will help you guide this decision, but here's the key things. Make sure that your surgeon is an ACL specialist. Choosing the right surgeon. Not all surgeons are the same, trust me. You want someone who does 20 ACLs a week, not 20 a year. Someone who can offer all the grafts, not just the one that they always use and that they're comfortable with using, and someone who listens and understands your goals and takes a very good medical history to understand about any prior knee issues. Some other surgical options and considerations is an LET that you might hear. That's a lateral tenodesis. This is something your surgeon might recommend alongside an ACL surgery. This is only in certain situations. Typically, it's suggested for people who are under the age of 30, those with multiple injuries, i.e. a big meniscal tear, hypermobile individuals, people with a high tibial slope, or those that are returning to kind of extreme pivoting sports. I did a full blog and Instagram post on LET and it did really well. So if you want to know more on that, let me know, and I'll probably film like a dedicated longer format video on here. Last thing, if you do go for surgery, assemble your team. Let your family and friends know it's going to be tough. You're going to be out for 12 months and you'll need support because this process is mentally and physically demanding. If you want all of this laid out step by step from early injury to return to sport, exactly what you need to do, I cover all of this and obviously much, much more with all of my return to sport testing as well in my Complete ACL Recovery Guide. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe. It lets me know that you want more of this and helps more people find my channel.